Welcome to Inner Fragrance Stories, where every tale carries a soothing aroma for the soul. Today we will listen to The Field and the Ancient Tree to reflect on a profound lesson about patience and how we face the immovable obstacles in our lives. Let's immerse ourselves in the story and at the same time learn English through its meaningful narrative. In a village at the end of a dusty road, there lived a farmer named Lena. Her rice fields were the envy of the valley, lush and heavy with grain, save for one stubborn patch right in the very center. There, a colossal ancient tree stood sentinel, its branches so vast they cast a permanent dappled shadow over a wide circle of earth below. Beneath its boughs, the rice grew thin and pale, never sprouting, never bearing fruit. The other farmers would pass by and click their tongues. "Lena," they'd say, "you are the hardest worker among us. Why do you let that old giant steal your harvest? One swing of an axe and your field would be whole. The sun would return and your yield would double." But Lena would simply smile, wiping the sweat from her brow. "This tree has seen more harvests than my grandmother's grandmother," she would reply. "It is not stealing from me. I am learning what it means to share this land." In the spring, she tried planting shade-tolerant seeds, but they remained spindly. In the summer, she diverted extra water to the patch and would often eat her midday meal resting against its massive trunk, listening to the whisper of its leaves. In the autumn, when the rest of her field was a shimmering gold, the circle beneath the tree remained a muted, quiet green. And in the winter, the tree stood bare and silent, a skeleton against the gray sky, while the wind swept snow across the fallow ground beneath it. Years turned, and Lena's hands grew more calloused, her steps a little slower, but her resolve remained. Then, one year, a great drought fell upon the valley. The sun beat down with a relentless fury, baking the earth and turning the once green fields to cracked, pale dust. The streams dwindled to trickles, and the other farmers watched in despair as their crops withered and died. But when Lena walked her field, she found a miracle. The great ancient tree, with its roots sunk deep into secret aquifers, had sheltered the earth beneath it. The soil there was still dark and damp. The shade that had once been a curse had become a blessing, protecting the land from the sun's scorching gaze. In that sheltered circle, the hardy, shade-loving plants she had nurtured for years not only survived, but thrived, a stubborn oasis of green in a sea of brown. The villagers, now desperate, came to her, and she shared the resilient seeds from the plants that had grown in the tree's shadow. She showed them how the tree's fallen leaves created a mulch that held precious moisture. The birds that nested in its branches brought insects that enriched the soil. Their songs filled the air where there had been only silence. Many seasons later, a young girl from the village came to learn from Lena. She helped with the watering and the weeding, and she noticed how the old woman still tended to the base of the great tree every morning. "Grandmother Lena," the girl asked one day, her curiosity overflowing, "why did you never cut it down? For so long it stood in your way." Lena smiled, the same patient smile she had given the neighbors all those years ago. She placed a hand on the rough bark. "Because, little one, not every obstacle is meant to be conquered. Some are meant to teach us how to adapt. This tree was not blocking my sun, it was teaching me about a different kind of richness." The girl frowned, thinking, "But what if the drought had never come?" "Then it would have taught me patience," Lena said softly, "and the value of a cool place to rest. The lesson is not in what the obstacle gives you, but in the person you become while learning to live with it." That evening, as the fireflies began to dance at the edge of the field, the girl looked at the ancient tree. She saw how its deep roots held the earth firm, how its branches offered a home to so many creatures, and how its very presence had saved them all. She understood then that abundance is not always about fighting for more light, but sometimes about discovering the hidden wealth that exists in the shade. And so, dear listeners, our story ends here. This tale reminds us that not every obstacle in our path needs to be removed. Instead, the patience and wisdom to learn how to live with them, even to grow around them, is what can lead us to unexpected abundance. We hope the fragrance from today's story, The Field and the Ancient Tree, remains with you, not just as a life lesson, but also as a step forward in your English learning journey. Thank you for listening. Until next time, on Inner Fragrance Stories, Live, learn, and find your inspiration.